Hello everyone, and today we're going to cover the basics of writing at university. And here are the contents of today's PowerPoint. First, we're going to look at what is academic layout and format, so the correct way to format an essay, how to organize the contents of an essay, what goes into the introduction, how to organize a paragraph, and also the contents of the conclusion. So first I'm going to give you a very brief overview of academic layout and format. This is how to format your page. We want to make sure we're using Times New Roman 12-point font. Please put your personal details in the top right-hand corner of the paper. Include your name, your student number, the class name, and the date. Make sure you have a title. The title should be bold and centered on the page. Indent the first sentence of each paragraph, or the first word of each paragraph should be indented. Double space your sentences and include a word count in the bottom right hand corner. So what we're going to do now is have a look at a video explaining this in more detail. So first, let's take a look at formatting an essay. Here we have an unformatted essay. We can see that the font is Arial 11 points. So the first thing we're going to do is to change this font to Times New Roman 12 point. So we've changed the font to Times New Roman 12 point. The next thing I'm going to do is to add my personal details to the essay. Here's my name. I'm just going to make up a number, okay, just for today. Our class, you can use your own class name. I'm just going to write academic writing on here as the class name. And today's date. So today is 21st March 2021. And we want this to be over here in the top right corner. So I'm going to select this and move it to the top right. So that's my personal details up here. Next, we're going to look at the title. Here's the title. We want to make sure the title is centered like this in the center and bold. There we go. So we're going to have the title centered and bold. Next, we're going to just indent each paragraph like this. This is using the tab button. The tab button indents 5 spaces. So we've indented the paragraphs. Next, we're going to change the spacing of our writing to double spacing. So if we go up here, this button, we can change the lines, the sentences to double space. So it'll make it look something like this. You can see there's a big space between the lines. And then finally, we're going to add a word count. Go to Tools, Word Count. We've got 384 words. I'm going to put that in brackets. 384. And then I'm going to put that over on the bottom right hand side. And we can put words in here as well, 384 words. There we go. And we've finished editing our essay. So in this next section, we're going to take a look at how to organize an essay. So let's take a closer look at the essay we just formatted. Here we can see we have a title at the top, an introduction paragraph here, our first body paragraph, our second body paragraph, and our conclusion. So in this section, we're going to take a closer look at the introduction. So the introduction introduces your topic and gives some background information. It explains why the topic is important or relevant, and it gives your main thesis. Here you can see an example of our introduction from the essay on the other page. And if we look here at number 1, we can see where it introduces our topic and gives some background information. These days, there is a growing concern around the world for people's health. Convenience foods and low levels of activity are causing ever-increasing levels of obesity. Next, we're going to explain why the topic is important or relevant. Obesity is a problem because it not only raises a person's risk of illness, but it also costs governments money in increased healthcare costs and lost working hours. Some people argue that governments should take stronger action to lower obesity and encourage a healthy lifestyle, while others argue that it's an individual's responsibility. Okay, so this is, again, developing our context and explaining why the topic is important or relevant. Finally, I'm going to give my main thesis statement. This is the main idea of my essay. This essay looks at why I believe governments around the world should do more to improve health. Next, we're going to look at body paragraphs, in particular the topic sentences. So we want to divide the main information of our essay into themes or topics. Each theme or topic should have its own paragraph, and each paragraph should be introduced with a topic sentence. Here are our 2 paragraphs from our essay. If we look at paragraph 1, we can see the topic sentence here at the top of the paragraph. On the one hand, there's no doubt that individuals must take some responsibility for their diet and health. So we know that this first paragraph is going to talk about individual responsibility for health. If we look at the next paragraph and our topic sentence, however, there are several ways in which we may not be as responsible for our health as we think. We know that this paragraph is going to explain outside influences in more detail. So in this section, we're going to look at supporting sentences. As we mentioned, our paragraphs start with a topic sentence. We then add supporting sentences with some details and examples. We're going to mark these supporting sentences with something called sequences. These sequences are words such as firstly, secondly, next, finally. Let's take a closer look. Here's one of our paragraphs. And we can see here that we're starting with a topic sentence. Yeah, this is introducing our paragraph, as we mentioned before. And then we have some supporting sentences that are marked with sequences. These highlight the reasons why our topic sentence is true. However, there are several ways in which we may not be as responsible for our health as we think. Firstly, children have little or no choice in what they eat. So this is our first support sentence. And then there's some details. Their diets are strongly influenced by parents and schools. In many American states, school lunches are infamously unhealthy. Exercise habits may also be influenced by the family and school environment. Then we have another support sentence. Secondly, poorer families may have less choice over what they eat. Okay, and this is followed by more details and examples. Often, cheaper foods are more processed and contain higher levels of salt and sugar. And then we finish with our final support sentence. Finally, the influence of advertising. Advertising is a very powerful medium and can have a strong influence on our eating habits and lifestyles. So in this example, we can see clearly our topic sentence, our 3 supporting sentences, and additional details and examples. So now let's have a look at how to organize a conclusion. So in the conclusion, we want to review the key points and state our conclusion. Here's the conclusion from our essay. And first of all, we can see here that we're going to review our key points. In conclusion, I understand that we all have an individual responsibility for keeping ourselves fit and healthy. However, there are many external factors that influence our diet and lifestyle. And then our conclusion. Therefore, I believe the government should take a more active role in a nation's health. This can be done by educating families on healthy eating and making sure school dinners are balanced and nutritious. What's more, the government should take more responsibility in controlling how food and drink are advertised. So we can see here that in the conclusion we review our key points and we state our final conclusion. So finally, let's go over the main points from today. When we're writing at university, we want to use an academic format that looks something like this. I've just highlighted some key points, but of course you don't need to do this when you write. This is just for showing you the key points. So here is our academic layout. We have our personal details in the top right hand corner. We have our title that's bold and in the center. And then we have our information organized into paragraphs. We start with an introduction paragraph, body paragraphs, and conclusion. In our introduction, we have an introduction to our topic, saying why it's important, and then we have our main thesis statement, our main idea. Okay, I've just highlighted it here to show you where it is. Our body paragraphs start with topic sentences, followed by support sentences, followed by details and examples. Our conclusion summarizes our key points and then states our conclusion clearly. Okay? So here are our key points from today.